what are your thoughts on the debate?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts. I figure maybe I'll approach it like giving grades, because like you just got out of a course, so you'll relate to this. So I'm going to give Donald Trump a D.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I'm giving him a D is because at least he didn't pull his pants down during the thing or whatever. But he fumbled literally everything, every opportunity that was handed to him on a plate. However, I'm going to give Lester Holt an F.
Mm-hmm.
It was ridiculous. I mean, if you look at it, so he interrupted Trump. These are the things I got from Howie Kurtz, from the Fox Media analyst. He interrupted Trump 41 times during the interview. He only interrupted Clinton 7 times. He asked Trump 5 fact-checking questions. He asked Clinton none. He never brought up the word Benghazi. He didn't talk about the email scandal or any of the Death Center campaigns. Talked nothing about the Clinton Foundation. So it was almost as if he was part of the Hillary campaign. What do I give Hillary? At least she didn't faint during it. So I'm giving her a C. She offered the same platitudes. And if I hear one more politician say, go to my website, I'm going to kill him.
You know, another thing is of slanting it towards Clinton. Do you know why it was all darked out? Whether you could see nothing from the audience? Seizures. Because she has seizures with flashing lights. Another thing, if you look closely at her left ear, there was a flesh-colored earpiece in her ear. Flesh-colored earpiece. And there's pictures on the web today of the wire going down her back. And if you notice, when Trump was talking, you could tell she was listening to something. Like her face was in this, she was getting all her answers fed to her.
Yeah.
So it was completely, and I bet Trump might have been threatened to say, look, you can't really push on these issues, because he had wide open chances to just knock her out and didn't take them.
Yeah. It was actually bizarre to see him softball it so much. I also think he didn't do much prep. He's
well,
you know.
Let me say one thing that I was thinking about you when Trump was speaking, where he did sort of stay on point. And this goes back to what you always talk about, is he did talk a lot about jobs. He did keep going back to jobs. Well,
and that's good, because why do we have trouble in the black communities today? Because they have no opportunity. Okay, and I've got to figure out a way to get Plan 182. I think I've figured out a way. I actually got Lou Dobbs's, the guy from Fox. I got his email, and he's a financial guy. I'm going to send him Plan 182 and see if he doesn't think that actually works.
Well, and the thing is, Clinton only talked in platitudes.
Well,
it was all platitudes. There was no substance whatsoever.
No substance whatsoever. And here's the big lie that Clinton's telling. She's saying, I'm going to tax all these people. First of all, we have a Republican Congress that's never going to pass that.
Well, and let me tell you,
she lays it up to the great unwashed who think, great, she's going to get us, she's going to save us, she's going to give their money to us, when it's never going to happen.
And I'll tell you why it's bullshit, because those estate taxes don't affect the mega wealthy, because they have lawyers and attorneys that get around all that. What it affects are small farmers and small business people, and it's just going to wipe all that out. It doesn't affect the super rich.
No, or the Clinton Foundation.
Get around it all.
Or the Clinton Foundation, right?
Right. It doesn't affect any of all that. And she basically lied the whole time.
Yeah,
everything out of her mouth was a lie.
Yeah.
She lied the entire time.
I don't think that was a surprise to anyone, but the fact that Trump didn't call her out on the lies, that was the big problem. So he essentially got up to bat the first time in this game, when he struck out. She hit an infield single, because if she had said, here's a concrete plan that's actually going to work, she would have walked away and won the thing hands down. But she didn't do any of that. There wasn't one concrete idea in the whole thing.
See, I disagree. I put it as Trump very, very, very slightly winning. Slightly winning because he got in more jabs. He didn't get any knockout punches, and I think the disappointment in Trump is like, dude, her jaw is right there. Tag it. What are you doing? But he got in like death by 1,000 cuts. He got in little jabs. He got in a great soundbite of the night of, you have experience, but it's all bad experience. I'm paraphrasing here.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like top Trump.
The other one, when she said, "Oh, I made a mistake," and he said it was more than a mistake.
That was basically treason. She should basically be in jail right now. And but they completely placated to her. Lester Holt, totally a Team Clinton. They turned all the lights off so she wouldn't have a seizure. And I think what happened in people's expectations is if Clinton just was able to stand for 90 minutes, that was a victory. And not cough, and not have a seizure.
But she was coughing today. I don't know whether you saw the morning interviews with her on the plane. She was coughing.
Right. Well, and you know that she's using like 2 body doubles now and voice doubles. Body doubles and voice doubles. And Trump was not the Trump, her jaw was there and he wasn't giving her knockout punches. I think that disappointed a lot of people. Like, dude, wide open, go for it. And he didn't really go for it. Now, it could be that, he was told to tone it down, or maybe he's letting her fire off all her ammunition, and then the next 2 debates that are closer to the election, he's going to hold back and nail her then.
And the key thing, too, is the last one is being done by Chris Wallace, who's from Fox. It's got, and I'm not saying he's like Sean Hannity. He's not. He's a real newspaper-based business reporter or political reporter. But he's going to be more balanced. Okay? He's not going to interrupt Trump 41 times and only Hillary 7 times, and he's going to ask her some tough questions. The fact that Benghazi never came up is incomprehensible. The fact that the servers, that the FBI has an ongoing investigation of her servers, that she had an administrator for the servers who didn't have any security clearance. This is a treason.
No, they totally went after Trump and beating that birther movement. Who cares? That's dead, and she started it.
Yeah, exactly.
And she started it, and everything out of Clinton's mouth was basically a lie.
Yeah.
And so once again, everybody is skewed against Trump because if you look at all the mainstream media, she wiped the floor with him. She schooled Trump. She stood up to the bully for 90 minutes. Now the online polls and the snap polls are all showing that Trump won. So, and basically about what I said, like I think he won by just like a hair, and most of it was just like, dude, why didn't you knock her out? But maybe he's waiting to do that. I don't know. Because remember when we had
come off. He was probably supposed to come off as the more friendly person. That he didn't want to come off as, I just took you out, I wiped the floor with you in the first one. So he was probably like, don't go there, all right? But on the other hand, it's such a fertile ground. Why not? It's that fertile that you can hit her on a million different things.
She has no leg to stand on any level. A failure on every level. A failure, a liar, and a crook. And sick, and not even healthy enough to be president. But the New World Order wants to install her.
Yeah.
And did you see like how paranoid, like the look in her face when they brought up the TTP or the TPP?
But she just lied again. So she just lied her way out of it. Yeah. And she'll go, they changed those words now, so I'm okay with it. And NAFTA, why they said that NAFTA isn't a disaster? It's one of the biggest It's the biggest business disaster in the history of the U.S.
Right.
So I think you're right. It's probably a dead heat. I'm disappointed because I think Trump could have crushed her in a polite way.
Right.
Say, let's talk about facts.
But there's 2 more debates, and remember when we had the debates with Romney and Obama. Obama sort of choked on the first one, and then and so Trump can go up. I don't think Clinton can do any better in a debate.
Well, and she has to hope that she doesn't have some big physical catastrophe between now and then, or that the let's see, is it Mills who got immunity now?
Yeah, they're just giving away immunity. Stone Tier got immunity. That whole bit where he was posting on Reddit to cover. I mean, it's plain as day. But once again, like we said, in the room is, and too, dude. Goldman Sachs employees are not allowed to vote for Trump.
Yeah.
They're mandated not to vote for Trump. So you have, Google, Goldman Sachs, Facebook, Twitter, all the big fossil fuel companies, Big Pharma, Wall Street, Obama, Chuck Todd, Rachel Maddow, Lester Holt. They're all in a room together, just going, all right, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to steal this thing, and they're just making plans to steal the election again and just lie, and pull the wool over uninformed voters' eyes. And none of these people want Trump to win. And what I'm afraid of is the WikiLeaks thing is going to come out, and they're going to blame Russia, and then Homeland Security is going to take control over the elections to protect us from Russia, and then
maybe that's the reason the leak hasn't come out
right.
yet.
Then they install Clinton. The other thing is, you see the talk that if it looks like Trump is going to win, there's going to be a EMP that's going to wipe out the grid and cancel the elections. That's what they're going to do. So anything to install Clinton. And Clinton seems pretty confident of it. Like, only 60 more days. Like
if I can just stay upright for 60 more days.
Right. So, and they did, they stole the Democratic nomination. No one seems.
How about the thing when she was talking about Trump and women? Who disrespected women more than her husband? This is ridiculous.
Nobody. Nobody.
That's the pot calling the kettle black if I ever saw it. So, I think perhaps the strategy was just go soft on her this time, and then we'll ramp it up through the next two. But
well, and they're putting all the things to rest now, because Clinton coming out going, you borrowed $14 million from your father, which he borrowed $1 million. She's probably thinking it would be $14 million in today's dollars.
Yeah, but it wouldn't only be 8. It would only be 8,
or whatever it is. So she's putting all that out there now, and I guess clearly living in California, we don't see all the negative ads that they're running against Trump. But and she knows, Rachel Maddow will come on and snarkily talk about what a loser Trump is, and Young Turks will snarkily talk about what a loser Trump is, and MSNBC will snarkily talk about what a loser Trump is, and all those surrogates that she's got. But but the people have a different attitude. All of Clinton's rallies are all fake. They're all fake. They're all green screen.
Well, the problem with her is she wants to be the continuation of Obama, and Trump called her out on this. Like, look, you think things are okay? You think we have all this unrest because things were okay? Do you think the economy is okay when we're at 1/3 the average GDP increase of coming out of a recession? He's the only president in history that never had a 3% growth year in the GDP. This is horrible. Okay, but she thinks it's okay. And that's why all the people from Wall Street are just keep it going.
Right. Well, they think they have enough with the mainstream media just completely putting the thumb on the scale. And if not, if it looks bad, we'll just cheat, or we'll just blow the grid up and cancel the elections, or we'll let Homeland Security monitor the elections and just cheat.
Yeah.
So I believe they feel pretty confident in their room when they get together and just laugh about it all, going, American people, what a bunch of fools.
But see, that's why thousands of people show up at a Trump rally and nobody shows up at Clinton's rallies, even the fake ones. And the reason is because the people out there are going, I don't feel better off than I was 10 years ago. So maybe we need a change. Maybe we have to break this political elitist diatribe that's been going on for decades. And that's what the people are feeling, and that's why they're going for Trump. So I also think that this Pence debate is going to be completely different. he's going to show kind of a different side, and I think that's going to go really well. That's going to help Trump because it's also going to coach him on what to do in the next one.
Well, I think the bottom line of this debate is that it's not going to really change the minds of a Clinton supporter or a Trump supporter at all. And so what they're really going for is the people in the middle, the undecideds. And I would have to give Trump a very, very slight edge on undecideds because at least he was staying on point with Jobs and he didn't totally F up. And I think like on our end or other people's ends, they're disappointed because he could have knocked her out and he didn't do it. And he wasn't full on Trump. And we all know that tons of people are just believing every lie that's coming out of Clinton's mouth. And there's going to be the big spin. But I think with most independent voters, I give Trump a slight edge on the debate.
Yeah, I think you're right.